Well, this week in our missional communities, we're going to be studying the second of the two purposes that Jesus gives us for living the exchanged life. That comes from Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Jesus said this, remember, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." We've already found that these verses speak of the purposes for living the exchanged life. If you remember last week, we talked about the first purpose, and that is to be salt. And we said that salt means that you are an influence for God's grace. You are an influence for God's grace in the world, influencing the people around you. This week we're going to look at the second purpose, that you are to be a light for the world. As a light, you are a witness for God's glory. So we're going to talk about being a witness for God's glory. We've already found that as salt, we demonstrate what it means to live for God. Our daily lifestyle should be a living demonstration of what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. Before the people in the world around us ever live the exchanged life themselves, they should see clearly what it means to do so by watching you, watching your life, how you live your life. And now we're going to find out that as light, we reveal what God has done in our lives. I love those words there in Matthew. It says, and it gives light to all who are in the house. All who are in the house. Who all is in your house? Who all do you know? Who all are you familiar with? Your life should be a living revelation, example of what it means to be a follower of Christ and the changes that it brings about in our life. Now, our good works, it says, let them see your good works. Our good works mean our lifestyle, our manner of living. And they are a testimony, they are a witness to those who know us of the work of God in our lives. When people we know see the difference that God has made in our life, it brings Him glory. Let me read that again. Let your light so shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works, your life, your testimony, your story, and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So we are going to live the exchanged life as an influence for God on earth, salt, and as a witness for God in the world, light. Now this week, we're going to have an incredible service. We're going to do something different in our worship services. I want to really place a strong emphasis on our lives being that light, on our lives being a light for God, a witness for God. So I'm going to just give a brief explanation. Now I see some of you just fell out of your chairs. Jim, be brief. I am. I'm just going to give a brief explanation of what it means to be light. Explain this passage here that Jesus taught. And then we're going to light the place up. Did you hear that? We're going to light the place up. How are we going to do that? Instead of me just preaching about being light, we're going to let some people shine their lights. How are we going to do that? By sharing their testimonies. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a great, great morning this coming Sunday. Now, in your groups, you are going to help folks think through their own testimony, their own story of what God has done in their lives, and literally to write that down. Now, this is very important. Don't just skip over this. Here's why. While unchurched people, lost people, people far from God, may not be willing to let us sit down and open our Bible and go through a detailed explanation of what the gospel is all about, if we are prepared and ready, they just might give us an opportunity to tell them what God has done in our life. See, our testimony, the difference that God has made in our life. They just might allow us to shine a light a little bit. So we need to be prepared to do that. So have your folks in your group write down to develop their testimony And then, here's what I do. I let several folks in the group who are willing to share their testimonies. Now, that's going to do three things. One, it just may touch the heart of somebody else in your group. Maybe somebody that is far from God, doesn't know the Lord, but they hear a testimony. That light is being shined. And wouldn't it be awesome if they came to know Christ right there in your group? Second, it will help folks to give careful consideration to their own testimony that maybe have not done so before, and how they can share it themselves. And then third, it might encourage someone who's just a little bit shy. You know, that they're not comfortable being in front of other people, but they're comfortable with your group. And maybe for the first time in their life, the first time ever in your group, they'd be willing to share their testimony. Then they'd be more apt to do so outside of that group as well. One more thing. This Sunday will be a great, great day to bring a friend. Who knows? They may hear one of the testimonies that's going to be shared in church, and it will connect with their heart, and they'll be saved. Why don't you encourage your whole group to bring their friends to church this Sunday and let somebody's light shine on their hearts? I'll see you then. I'm excited. It's going to be a great